1 year ago, Donald Trump took office. My, how time flies, and that's why we're in Times Square. Let's talk to people from all over the country about how the president's doing the second time around. We're here asking people about the president's first year of the second term. How's he doing?
Oof. Was not expecting this in my work to work. Mixed results.
Mixed results?
To say the least. Some of his America First policy is positive. However, the way he goes about it is disturbing.
I think he's done fine. I mean, I know there's a lot of, half the country's against him, but he's done a lot of good stuff economically. I will say that.
It's been a disaster.
What had?
His presidency.
I think that he's doing good.
Okay.
I'm from Dominican Republic, but I come here with paper, and what is right is right.
The only thing holding him back is that the media and the Democratic Party have just gone off the rails to oppose everything he does, despite it being in their best interest.
I think he's doing great.
You got a highlight?
Well, I like the fact that he has stemmed the tide of immigration, illegal immigration.
One of the best things I like that he is doing is the crackdown on fraud.
What would you like to see him do in the next year?
Get the economy up and running again. He's saying it's great, but interest rates are still high, inflation is still dicey, so we'll see.
So we hear a lot of stuff about affordability. That's not impacting you?
Affordability and things of economic nature, I think they're so much more local than what the president can do and what Washington can do. I really do. I truly do. There's a big difference between Louisiana taxes and Mondami taxes.
If you had to give the president a grade for this first year of the second term, what would the grade be?
Yeah, I'm not sure I really want to do that. You got a lot of different subjects.
Right.
So on certain subjects, you get a good grade, and certain subjects you're not.
I would say an A. I would go A+, other than...
Wait, are you a New Yorker?
I am.
New Yorker giving him an A?
Yeah. Those people are deluded.
Wow.
They're insane.
What would the grade be?
F.
An F?
Uh-huh.
Why?
Well, it's...
And that's the last we saw of Kayla.
I'm just talking about the big picture, world things across the country, bringing change. I'd give him a good grade.
Can I see the hands of the people who think the president has done a good job first year? Okay. Okay, all five of them. Who could give the president advice on what you would like to see happen in the next year? What would you like to see him do?
Resign.
Okay, he's not gonna.
I think he needed to be more focused on the U.S.
Well, continue to grow the economy.
Some young new justices on the court. Keep doing what he's doing, to be honest with you.
What's something you would like to see the president do in the next year?
Remember his roots.
New York?
Yes.
Well, he likes the mayor so far. That's remembering his roots. New York's a tough place for Trump. So you have 50-50 there on what he accomplishes. It's amazing where some people can be so convinced he's doing great and other people aren't. Yeah, I think that the best you can hope for a Democrat or Republican is 50%. I don't think you're ever going to see a 70% or 60% approval rate.
I like the answers, though. I mean, the one gentleman, the older guy with the mustache, is like, well, some things I give him an A and some things I don't. And I think that's where a lot of people are with most politicians. But I guess we live in a world where you're just on board or you're not.
I'd forgotten to list fraud. The man reminded me of that. She liked the immigration plan, and he liked the fraud, which Doge cut out. What was the number? Doge,
200 billion.
Garnered $297 billion, almost $300
And more importantly,
billion.
just changed the culture of always growing federal government.
And going after the fraud in Minnesota and in California and every other state in between.
But also remember that those are the people that put the communists into the mayor, the Gracie Mansion,
True.
as the mayor.
True.
So that's where where you're polling.
You're right.
Somebody we
Socialist
didn't
mom
send
Donnie.
out on the street.
And is not a communist.
And is not a communist is Carly Shimkus. What's going on, Carly?
That is right. A whole lot has happened in one single year, guys, and we have 3 more to go.
I'm Steve Ducey.
I'm Brian Kilmeade.
And I'm Ainsley Earhart. And click here to subscribe to the Fox News YouTube page to catch our hottest interviews and most compelling analysis.